Hello there, and welcome to the Natalie
and Dennis Show podcast.
Nihongo edition.
All the way from Nihon,
Tokyo, Japan. We actually brought some of the podcast equipment in order to be able to shoot and record.
Ohayo gozaimasu. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is so crazy. First and foremost, if you are watching the visuals on YouTube, you're probably overlooking the beautiful city of Tokyo. It is such a beautiful, clean, and just such a friendly city. I think that's one of the things I've been the most surprised about is Japan really is everything and more of what people say it is.
All right, so we're going to start the podcast by breaking down what our trip has been like, and overall our experience, and maybe some tips on what we think a new traveler to Japan should have in mind.
That is great. I actually have a list already.
Oh, that
should
we can
I just
talk
start
about
off with
that?
that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to start off with some tips, but I also feel okay. Fine, I'll start off with.
Or do you want to start
tips.
with the trip?
I feel like the trip. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Well, it was one crazy rainy night, and we went into the airport. Honestly, it wasn't very bad.
No, it was a hard trip.
No,
you're not gonna lie.
Waking up.
Oh, waking
packing.
up. I mean, yeah, I was shooting some TikToks. I remember I said bye to Jupiter. I was just so excited for this trip. Like, this is something I've been wanting to do for years, like literally years. And honestly, this has been my favorite trip ever. Dennis
overall,
has been such a great tour guide.
We woke up, flight was at 7 a.m. We arrived in Minnesota, which I thought was so weird, as like a, middle point, resting point where we switch planes. And then our flight got delayed 6 hours. 6 hours. That was a big reason as to why we arrived so tired and so messed up.
But I do remember, first of all, sleeping on a 12-hour flight. It ain't easy, girl. We did get Comfort Plus, but I swear to you, Dennis and I looked at each other, I think in the last maybe 4 hours, the flight, and we were both kind of going crazy. We're like, like you said, you kept waking up every 30 minutes.
We actually got a really good seat that was right in front of like a wall, right? And it was like the middle row. It was a wall. And I was like, that's going to be really good because I can stretch my legs and I can put them up there or whatever. And honestly, it didn't really help at all.
No, even then we arrived like crippled. Like we were like, my butt hurts, my back hurts, my head hurts. Like we were just not well. And
I couldn't find a comfortable position. And
I just remember landing and I was like, I don't think I'm ever coming back to Japan. This was so long. And then you looked at me and you're like, I don't think I'll ever come back. But obviously things have changed. We now feel different, and we'd probably
we would
get
come back.
Business.
The thing is, we've taken long flights before. I think this was our longest flight, the 12-hour flight,
plus that 6-hour delay.
And around like the 4 hours left mark of the flight, I started getting really desperate. I don't know why. The time was going by really slow.
It was.
The first 8 were fine. I was okay and whatever, watching a couple movies and trying to sleep. And then it just got awful. It was rough.
For me, it was rough too, because I've been on Singapore Airlines when I went to Bali. Everybody speaks very highly, and it's an incredible airline. So comfortable, so clean, and also just so accommodating. Like you get 3 meals plus some. And I felt like one of the meals for this 12-hour flight was like apple juice and crackers.
It was a cookie.
And I was like, what the heck?
There was a girl that I watched a TikTok of. She slept through the first meal, got woken up for the cookie.
No.
She only had the cookie. That was it.
No.
All right, whatever. We made it to Japan. Immigration is probably tip number 1. You go on. There's this one really like specific website you need to go on, and you need to get a QR code.
Just do it.
Yes, it's a QR code that you need to do in order to do customs. A lot of people there were having issues filling out like physical sheets that were all Japanese. And like,
no, a lot of people didn't know.
Yeah.
They're like, wait, what is this? I had no idea. And they're trying to fill it up as you're getting up to the line.
Yeah.
And I just find that to be very nerve-wracking. Like, I'm happy you were so prepared and like you were like, I got this. I already did this.
So the first thing I did to Japan was open up Google Translate. That's my tip number 2.
Oh my God, you guys, Google Translate is it. Tell me how you can point the camera at hiragana and katakana, like basically their symbols, and it just switches to English. It's fascinating.
In
like
the moment,
on the
through
spot.
the screen, and it still shows the image. It's kind of like a AR or like a virtual reality kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll see the symbols, or you can take a picture, and that way you can move around and understand what everything means, all the signs mean.
And it also has the audio. So whenever the lady was speaking over the intercom, you put it on to translate, and it would literally translate in Japanese to English. It was fascinating.
So yeah, when we arrived, Google Translate and getting the QR code from that one Japanese website, customs helped. It got us through all of immigration, no problem. I was going to say podcast.
Mm-hmm.
The passports, everything was fine. And then what you do also have to do is you have to do like a couple of screenings and scannings. But then we were out. We were finally out on our own in the airport, and I was overwhelmed. You had the option of bus, train, or taxi.
Mm-hmm.
What did we end up taking?
Taxi.
So we took the taxi because I didn't understand the subway system,
Mm-hmm.
didn't understand bus fares. We just took a taxi. Overall, it was a really great ride.
It was really wonderful.
Very, very comfortable.
Yes.
The size of the taxis here are very weird because in the front they look like a normal car, but in the back they're like minivan kind of style.
Mm-hmm.
Very spacious.
And then I'm assuming you might be thinking like, okay, well, what is it like in terms of communication? I've been very surprised that almost literally every Japanese speaks a little bit of English.
Yeah.
It's almost startling. Like the fact that we had an incident where this lady was on a bike, like what was it, a motorcycle?
It was like a moped.
And she kind of like, she fell. No, not she kind of fell, but she was kind of out of it. And we went up to her to try and help. And I didn't know how to say like, hey, are you doing okay? And I was just like, hey, are you okay? How can I help you? And she's like, I'm okay. And then the other Japanese guy came over and helped her as well. But again, I was just so surprised, like, we're in their country and like they know English. It's very fascinating. So I don't think you really have to worry about the language barrier. And Japanese people are very, very sweet, and also very patient, I would say, like compared to other countries and places that, I mean, just compared to us, like Latins, like or Americans, like I just feel like they have a sense of like patience and just love and appreciation. I don't know. It's just like you feel very warm. They're very warm people.
Yeah. So first couple days, I think first day or two was just straight up walking 25,000 steps every day.
You guys bring comfortable shoes. That's the one thing. You'll pack all these like cute outfits, which I didn't do. I knew that was going to be a mistake. I literally just brought like my hokas, and I did leave the suitcase pretty empty, as you had mentioned, so that we could shop a lot. But
that's another tip, actually.
Yeah.
So we put our carry-on inside of our large luggage, right? So we wouldn't have to use or carry the carry-on around the airport, but at the same time, we saved a lot of space inside of the large luggage so that when we would purchase things here, you would take them. And at the same time, things here are pretty, I wouldn't say cheap. They're affordable, right? Like product wise, like items like shoes and stuff, but the food is very affordable.
The food is very affordable. Like, can you speak to how much like a ramen would be?
A ramen would be about less than $10, like $9 for a big ass ramen, and like a good spot. Lots of times, I know we've been going to like the nice restaurants with the high ratings, but I was looking at prices on TikTok for like the typical ramen sushi place, and you can eat for less than $10, like $8, $9. I was also seeing that McDonald's menu items I don't know if you actually ended up checking how much we paid that one day, the time that we went to McDonald's. So we paid $9 for both of us for full meals. That's actually very, very affordable.
Yeah. So overall, the food has been really delicious, and just it's been really awesome.
Check it out. I have a strawberry Kit Kat here from Don Quixote, which is a superstore that had a lot of different flavored candies. One thing that impacted me, it just kind of came to my mind, was the fruit.
The fruit
was amazing. And especially in one store in particular we went to, where they have the fruit in like these beautiful packages and they're gifted to people as gifts.
I just want to, yeah, like basically think of the most beautiful fruit you've ever seen in your life. Everything, grapes, mangoes, but like perfection, not one dent, not one discoloration, like everything looks the same. And we saw mangoes there that cost $100.
$100 mangoes.
I mean, the fruit is not cheap, but it's very beautiful. And
fruit is gifted as a gift when someone's getting a raise or someone graduates. They're given like a really beautiful mango.
Yeah, I know something you're gonna want to speak to.
Tell me.
The bidets.
Yo, life changing. Oh my God. So I was a little hesitant at first to use a bidet. But then once I used it, man, it was love at first sight. I wash my ass at least 5 times a day now.
Why did you find it to be so, like, honestly, yeah, the bathrooms here are incredible. Like the seat is warm.
It's like a mini shower.
It is a mini shower for your butt. It's a
mini shower for your butt.
And for your front area too, ladies. Like you can clean that. I'm assuming like whenever you're on your period, that's like so great to just clean it.
Let me just say, have you guys ever felt like you need a shower, but you don't like need a shower? Like your upper portions, like you're good. There's like levels to stinkiness, right? If you're like mildly stinky, you can get away with a bidet experience and you'll be fine.
Well, Dennis hasn't tried out the bidet that actually also fans out your butt.
Like it dries it?
That one is very interesting. And it plays
music. I haven't done that one yet.
Oh, that one's great for privacy. Like, can we just talk about how bad the bathrooms in America are? Sometimes they have cracks this big where people from the outside can see as they're waiting for you. Like here, you really feel like it's your moment. Like you put your little music, you relax. It really is an experience.
I'm going to miss the bidets here. I'm going to miss the friendliness of people here.
We might just have to buy one.
And overall, we'll get into like public transport now.
Yeah.
So the first 2 days we walked, I wanted to really avoid the subway system just because it was like a little bit intimidating for me. And then, Google Map. Oh, tip number, what are we on? 4?
I think
4 or 5. Okay. The hotel we're at actually rents Wi-Fi hotspots. So, you can buy a SIM card at one of these like weird places at the airport, but I decided on getting a Wi-Fi hotspot. You can get them for $10 at the hotel sometimes. And you basically take it with you, and everyone in your party, like me and Natalie, were both using the same internet hotspot at the same time. It's $10. 10 gigs, and then it really helped me get around with Google Maps, and especially the subway system because everything loaded really fast. But if you don't have that, you can still use certain internet providers. So Google Maps has helped me tremendously with like the subway system, understanding when it's like the metro, where the actual entrance is, what the exit is, what platform things are on. So it might be overwhelming at first, but if you put Google Maps and you tell it to like, oh, I need to go to a certain spot or whatever, and then you put metro or bus station or whatever, it'll give you it. We haven't been on the bus yet.
But Dennis has been a tremendously good tour guide.
Number one tour guide. Number one
we
tour
have
guide.
An inside joke. He's the number one tour guide.
Number one. We haven't gotten lost, which is great.
I did want to add one thing you haven't gotten used to. Walking on the left side.
Oh, so hard. That's difficult.
So it's custom here to walk on the left
and go up the escalator on the left.
But it does change sometimes when you're in a different city, but not too often. Basically, just like always be on the left side. So yeah, speaking of the escalator, like you literally go to the left in case anybody wants to go up
fast on the right side.
That was something that we found very like organized and just incredible. And another thing is whenever you're on the subway, you want to put your backpack and any items
on your lap
or to the front to not bother anyone. So if you're standing, you don't leave your backpack in the back, you put it to the front. I would also say, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to say, like, if there is any kind of words that you want to learn, like, I think it would be helpful to just learn how to say thank you. So, arigato gozaimasu. Arigato gozaimasu.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Let's all say it together. Arigato gozaimasu. Also, good morning. Ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu. I think another one is excuse me. So whenever you're on the subway and like you have to get through, sumimasen.
Sumimasen. We were at a stop on the train, and we only had a couple seconds to get off, and there was like a lot of people in the way.
Mm-hmm.
And so literally the moment it said sumimasen, like everybody like moved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very helpful. I mean, it makes sense.
I felt like Moses parting the Red Sea. Like,
Oh
it was
my
like, boom,
God.
everybody just gets out of the way.
I think another good one that you might want to know is like toilet. So it sounds very similar. It's toilet.
Toire.
Toilet.
Toire.
So you can say sumimasen, which is excuse me.
The traffic has been very
Hey, you
light.
cut me off. I'm trying to show off on my Japanese.
Okay, keep going.
Sumimasen, toire wa doko desu ka? Meaning, excuse me, where's the toilet?
Wow.
I've been practicing that one over and over.
Fashion is intense. Lots of really nice fashion.
Ooh, let's talk about that real quick, okay?
Definitely feel underdressed.
People here dress very nice and very put together. Like, you will not see someone go out in their PJs here.
No.
You will not see
Slides.
someone go out in slippers here.
Shorts.
However, if you do see someone go out in that stuff, you know they're American because we saw someone.
You see some athleisure tourists.
Yeah, I did feel kind of like underdressed when I was wearing the athleisure. Man, my back is
Yeah,
hurting.
you feel like a bum.
Yeah, you do.
That's a nice shirt. You got that at Uniqlo, right?
I got this one at Uniqlo, yeah.
So yeah, we went to Uniqlo and Muji. Another tip, Muji,
Ooh.
bottom floor, free water. You can fill up your water bottle.
That's true.
Carry a water bottle everywhere.
That's true. Carry a backpack too. I think that's very important.
Major absolute tip. If you need to learn anything out of any of these tips that we've mentioned so far, is to download Suica onto your phone. And it's only iPhone. I'm sorry, people, but it's only iPhone. You go into the wallet app and you go look up Suica, Suica. I'm pretty sure it's spelled like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically you can load this up with your credit card or your debit card. And that is your way to get on the bus, get into parks, get on the train, basically anywhere. The only thing it's not going to work at is where we're going to go later, which is the bullet train. We're actually going to have to talk to a person to give us 2 tickets because it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Bullet trains are just different.
But just like talking about Suica, the subway system and the cost, it's very affordable.
It's about 110 or 20 yen, which is like a couple cents, like 75 cents.
Mm-hmm. And like, honestly, if you don't want to be walking everywhere, like you can get to one city to the next in a matter of like minutes, which is just fantastic.
Yeah, we were in, I'm going to butcher the name of the cities because I don't have my map obviously open. But we were in, obviously, Ginza, which we are.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to Shibuya.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to Shinjuku.
Mm-hmm. Well,
all on the same day.
Yeah.
We had already been there. Like, all these cities require a day. Like, I'm telling you, like, there's enough stuff to do. But once you, like, master and you know what the locations are, you can be like, oh, I really like this coffee place and this one place. Let's take the bus or the train, go there. And then you're like, oh, and then for dinner, we want to go to this other place. Take the train again. So we've had times where we go train maybe 3-4 times in one day.
And it's great.
You go everywhere.
It's so awesome. Yeah, just like going literally everywhere. I did a little list of like things that I wish also I had known.
Sure.
And first of all, if you are coming in from the time zone of America,
the time zone of America,
PST, EST, you're most likely going to wake up very early here just because of your internal clock. So we usually are waking up around like 5:30 now.
Yeah.
But I remember the first day we woke up at 3 a.m. Then we woke up at like 4:30 a.m. Well, what I want to say is take advantage of kind of like settling in and waking up early because a lot of the shops here actually don't open till 11 a.m.
Yeah.
So what we would do is in the morning, we would take advantage of the fact that nobody's out and about. We would get comfortable with the subway system. We'd go to a lot of local parks.
So a lot of the parks open at 9, like the Imperial Palace or, again, butchering words, Meijing Shrine, a lot of the really nice walkable gardens, the flower places, they all open at 9 or are just straight up open to the public.
Yeah.
So let's say you wake up really early, you get breakfast. Starbucks is open early, but a lot of coffee places also don't open before 10. So you can go and like get breakfast or whatever, and then go to the parks around 9, do it for 2 hours, get in your good nature walk or whatever, And then at 11, you can go to the stores or whatever you wanted to do.
Yeah. In terms of manners, right? People here, like I said, are always looking out for others in the sense of let's not discomfort people. Let's not speak too loudly. Something I found really funny is I knew that you weren't allowed to talk here on the phone, like kind of just out and about. Like you won't see one person on their phone just talking out loud because that's an inconvenience and it's rude to others. We saw one guy on the subway literally like in a corner, like whispering on a subway, like whispering, not even inside the bus, by the way.
There's like a corner here. So like he was up in the corner, like that, talking very, very softly.
And that's just so impressive to me to like note that thing, like that type of customs I think is so interesting. And then also like good luck finding a place to eat here, because in the sense of you can't like let's say you grab something right from I don't know a convenience store, blah blah blah, you can't really walk and eat. It's considered rude as well. So because they're right.
Well, in the fruit place where we went to, there was no place to eat the fruit you bought.
You had to go up to the certain floor.
So there was after looking for a long time trying to figure out where we could eat the food from the basement floor, which is where all the yummy food was. And it's not just the fruit. It's like they had fried food and breads and all sorts of stuff. Then you got to go to 8th floor. And on the 8th floor, there's a food court. And that reminds me, every building is like you can find a restaurant on a 9th floor.
Yeah.
And that's normal. Like every building is tall and not like the whole building isn't used for the same purpose. Like we went to Happy Pancake.
That's a really
fluffy
good place.
Pancakes. I think it was like on the 7th floor.
Yeah.
We went to get a very nice matcha. It was in a mall on the 9th floor. Right. And so there's a lot of department stores. You have to like walk through them and then find the restaurant that you are looking for. But on Google Maps, if you click description and then you scroll, it actually says what building and what floor it's on. And that's another way to get around.
Yeah. But I just want to like add again to like the whole eating thing. It's not that like you can't physically eat as you walk here. Obviously you could, but literally there's a sign in every corner that's like, do not stop here to sit.
Do not sit
and do not walk here, or do not sit here. That's a big one. You don't see people just like sitting around on the street. You can't.
Yeah.
Like it literally says, do not stay here. Keep walking, keep going, you know?
There's a lot of places that do require reservations ahead of time. We went to the Pokemon Cafe just to take a quick look, and there's reservations that are taken up for the next 2 months. I didn't care too much about it because I didn't even know it existed.
Yes, you did. I
didn't know the Pokemon Cafe existed.
You do care.
No, come on. Okay. No, I don't.
Look, I'm wiping his tears.
Literally listen to me. Okay, I'm being very honest. You don't need to reserve anything to have. You won't really miss out on anything, is what I'm trying to say.
What you're saying.
Like you can still get around and explore and not reserve anything and have a wonderful time.
Oh, I understand.
There are very specific things that you would need a reservation for that you would need to probably reserve before you even arrive to Japan. And they're nice, but like if you don't do it, don't sweat it. Like it's really not that big of an issue. But in particular, if you are looking at the Pokemon Cafe, you would need to do it about 2 months in advance.
That's crazy,
and
right?
The website's all in Japanese. So there's that. Good luck.
No, don't be salty about the Pokemon Cafe.
Anime, we went to, butchering names again, Akihabara. It was an anime town. You didn't like it too much.
Oh, yeah. See, the thing is...
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I don't really like the towns that are too crowded, obviously. Like, but it's also part of the experience. For example, I posted on my Instagram like a photo dump of us passing the Shibuya crossing, which is like just this crazy crossing of people going all sorts of directions. It's very popular here. And somebody commented and they were like, oh my God, like I could never do that. That makes me so nervous. So that place that we went to, the anime place, it was like just so packed, full of people.
The Godzilla place was packed too.
The Godzilla place was very packed too, and I just almost feel like it's like an exaggerated part of Japan versus like the actual thing. For example, like everybody goes there to see the Godzilla and this and that, but that didn't feel like Japan to me. It felt just... It felt like the way
touristy.
Disney feels sometimes when you go to downtown Disney and everybody's like, you know, like just very
like
salesy in a way.
Let me give you an example, guys. So we went to like this like super famous fish market, and like there were way too many tourists there, and it's hard knocking on tourists because we are tourists.
Duh, I don't knock on tourists.
And by knocking on tourists, I mean like, you know, like, look, tourists, like making fun of them, whatever.
That's Dennis. I don't know why. I'm literally like, we're tourists too. No, but I get what you're saying.
It's funny when you start seeing tour guides, guys with flags and like groups of people following.
That's really funny to see.
You're in an area that's too touristy. I would say get out of there and go to like where no one speaks English. And like or knows a little bit.
Like for example, right?
Yeah.
You took us to like this like underground like ramen place type
that
of
was
vibe.
Badass, yeah.
Right. And I was like, wow, like all these people, there's like a bunch of businessmen here and like they're coming in and out and like, I don't know, like schoolgirls. It just felt very like Japan and it was like a very cool experience. And
it's legitimately where they eat.
Small and it was just like that. I was like, wow, I really like appreciate being more a part of that nature. Or that element versus like the over exaggerated like where there's so many tourists. It's just really silly.
We have this joke where they're walking by. I tell Natalie, I'm like, okay, everyone, bathroom break, because when you're following a tour guide, you're at the mercy of what they want to do with you, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to experience it in the way that they package things. And I always get flashbacks to that lady in Hawaii for our honeymoon that just like.
Oh, we never told them about it.
Everything.
We never told them about it.
Yeah, I think we have.
Well, basically, we ended up. So here's the thing. I'm not very good at like directions or tours or anything like that. So I feel like I would be one of those people in the Japanese tours if it wasn't for you, because I wouldn't know how to get around or like do all the
Natalie
Google Translate.
The Hawaii trip.
Yes, I did.
planned the Japan trip.
Yeah, and it's been the best trip ever. No, but so I knew that you weren't very invested in like the Hawaii trip. At the time, you didn't really like.
I let you do it.
You let me do it. It was the worst thing. Don't ever let me do that again. So basically, I ended up hiring this lady that took us to like just these really lame places. Like I remember we went to this this phone exhibit thing where like a shark comes out. I guess I'm afraid of sharks
was ridiculous.
too.
This is so stupid.
I'm afraid of sharks too. So she's like, point your phone up and the shark is going to come towards you. I was like, please. I'm like so scared.
This fucking graffiti thing in like this random alley and it's a shark. And then she's like, oh, it's like there's this VR app or AR app. You can download it.
I am so scared of all that
and
stuff.
And like you could just see it. And we just stood there. And it's like, we're trying to download the app.
No, I was trying to be nice and be like, wow, this is so cool, while not looking at it because I'm terrified of sharks. And she's like, please, like, look up, like, look at how it's coming. And, you know, the thing is, we went to a museum with her. That was kind of interesting. And we did some other stuff, but like, we ended up paying for everything of hers as well. And that was what was off for me. I'm like, I already paid for the tour. Why am I now paying for your admission? That wasn't a part of the contract. It was just a little bit too much. And it didn't feel like a honeymoon.
I would just say Japan's not the place for a tour guide. I would personally advise people not to get a tour guide.
You know what's interesting?
And it's so safe.
Please. Hold on. Just pause. It is so safe. You're right.
This is the place to try to be a little adventurous.
I agree with you. You will not feel unsafe here. I had always heard a tour guide here would be great because of the language barrier. But like after obviously being here, everybody speaks English and it's very safe. You feel really great. They're very kind to tourists. And yeah, like there really is no need. But I would still probably get one if I didn't have you. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I could get around. I don't think I could.
I mean, no, just go on maps and look. Like anywhere where there's green patches or flower gardens, like those are the morning ones like we mentioned. And then like if you're into like a specific niche, let that niche be like your evening activities. Like I like running. And so we went to a bunch of running stores at 11. And when I knew which ones I wanted to go to, like if you're having breakfast, use that time to research. Like you don't even have to research ahead of time.
That's true.
You could just find a pocket of time at your coffee place while you're having breakfast and just be like, this is a particular area I want to hang out in. And then zoom in and be like, oh, these are the activities, and that's it. It's simple.
One thing that I did see that's very popular here is like the Mario golf carts. Was that how you explain it? Go-karts. So you know how in the video game there's like little carts, and so here you'll see them like driving on the street. I told Dennis I wanted to do that, and
no, I'm against it. I just think it's unsafe. I know that I've seen a bunch of people driving around, but at the same time, you barely drive a normal car back at home. I can't imagine
That's
you driving
true.
a go-kart. And like if they're very low to the ground, so
Yeah.
if you lose control, you might get jammed into like an actual car or something.
No,
Who
that
knows?
is pretty terrifying.
On that note, cars here, beautiful cars.
Very nice
Very
cars.
nice. You can tell who's who by the car, man. Like there are some cars like
Tell him
breaks
about
my
that
neck.
one guy.
And I'm like, shit, wow, what a beautiful car. Yeah, we were walking down the street one time and then like this Mercedes Maybach like turns a corner and like the guy pulls down the window and says hello to like some bodyguards or security people. And man, I hadn't seen anybody bow down this low in Japan ever. But like it was from the hip straight down. Like there was so much respect and like their greeting of whoever he was. That was like, man, is that the president? Like it was something.
You said that's
like
$1 million car.
Well, yes, it's a version of a $300,000 car that's more expensive than the normal version.
That is crazy. Yeah. Another thing that I've noticed a lot is just how, like I said, elegant women dress here. Sorry,
You
no.
want to focus on like,
Sorry, I guess I was just looking out there and just thinking about the
distracted by the
beautiful city.
scenery.
No, I was telling Dennis, if there was ever like a place that I feel very comfortable like moving to, like let's say something terrible happened in America and we had to move, like
it would probably end up being
Japan.
Colombia.
Well, Colombia would be one, but I feel, don't you just feel safer here? Like,
Yeah.
oh, like you would want to raise your kids here. Like
I don't
it's
know
like
what it would be like to live here in like terms of paying bills.
no,
and
totally.
be as a foreigner. Do people rent, like allow for renting and stuff, you know?
I mean, just in general, like, yeah.
Interesting. What were you looking at? I want to know what you're looking at.
I just kind of like looking at all the little cars, and I was looking at that one red car. I was like, I wonder if that's another.
Driving on the
Fancy
left is
car.
very interesting. The steering wheel is on the left. Just a lot of getting used to the left. Like Natalie mentioned, escalators, the left. Always when you're walking in this. Oh, man. Okay. I got to say, when you're in the subways, you got to walk fast. Like the people behind you are in a bit of a rush. I mean, everybody's like in a rush. And like, it doesn't even matter if the person's old or whatever. Like everybody's trying their best to stay like in line. And I've seen multiple like older people who've kept up and like you can tell like they're not as fast as everyone else, but yeah, like
it's like a lot of stairs. First of all,
it's
a lot of stairs. So the first time we went up all those, like I don't even know how many stairs, like 100 stairs straight up, I was out of breath a little bit. And I remember that other time where that older man was in front of us and people are kind of like swerving around us, but I didn't want to be like rude and kind of swerve behind him. I was like, it's fine. He's going at a good pace for me. Seeing him go up the stairs and just like never stop, just that motion of wow. And I was thinking about our parents back home. I'm like, I don't think they could do that. Like genuinely, the physique here in the sense of, first of all, everybody's slim.
True.
You kind of have to be. Think about the subway. Think about the chairs. Think about, you know, the Starbucks table.
Yeah.
I mean, that is tiny, right?
I'm big.
You're big. I'm big here too.
I'm a big dude here.
I'm big here too. I feel big. I feel massive here. Because remember when we went to Shibuya 109?
Yeah.
That's like a K-pop. Well, not K-pop.
J-pop, K-pop.
Yeah. It's like all these girls. It felt like I was in Japanese school. It was the best, right? Like it's like
10 floors.
They're like, hi, kawaii. And like they're all like with their girlfriends and blah, blah, blah. And I was looking at the clothing. Everything's one size. I'm like, I would not fit into this. Like literally, I would not fit into this. And I was telling Dennis, I was like, I can't imagine like being a girl here. I would almost feel like you would have to look a certain way, and it feels like a lot of pressure.
When we were at the ramen place that Natalie said was like the underground ramen place, we actually shared a table with people. Like that's how crammed it is in that
tiny
little space, right? And so
that's why all the spaces, all of the buildings, everything you're gonna go to is like up.
Literally,
because there's no space.
The way Natalie's sitting next to me is the way that random stranger guy was sitting next to me.
We're more comfortable here.
Eating his ramen. Yeah, no, it was like
we're like nice and tight.
It was like this.
Like you could hear them breathing.
Oh, and the slurping, man.
Oh, Dennis, you guys already know Dennis hates slurping,
shit.
but slurping here is a thing, and it's considered like just real good, baby.
That I would have to get everything to go.
You want to talk about the conveyor belt sushi train place we went to yesterday?
Yeah. So every time we eat, I try to get either a place that's like popular or different or highly rated.
I'm telling
or
you,
whatever.
he is number one tour guide in Japan.
Tour guide, number one. And so I found it. It was in Shinjuku, underneath the Uniqlo. And so we went inside. There's not a lot of workers, but at the same time, there are. I don't know how to explain it. It feels like self-serve. And so you sit at this like little table, which is honestly really great. It's the most privacy we've had here, I think. We had a lot of space to eat.
Oh, yeah. That was so comfortable. Yeah. That was very comfortable.
Shinjuku. Mm-hmm. Underneath the Uniqlo.
No, that was super comfortable.
Yeah. And so you have a tablet. Everything is in pure Japanese. I needed to whip out the Google Translate for a little bit. And then I ended up converting the tablet to English. Once you switch everything to English, you'll be fine. And then you just start picking the sushis you want. And it comes in like this conveyor belt. And then you have your own little express lane. And so it'll like pop out like that. Mm-hmm. And then you grab your plates. And then at the end, you have like this big ass stack of plates. And then you just eat.
One thing's for sure, you guys, we are overeating. I am not going to lie. I have unbuttoned a few buttons of these pants. I've bought a size larger in pants. And every night I come home and I have a really bad bellyache.
What do you think it could be? I don't think it's particularly because it's Japanese food. I think it's just you're allergic to something.
No, we're overeating.
Some sort of lactose, some sort of something.
No, I think we're just overeating because we're just want like anytime we see something, Dennis is like, "Oh my god, I saw that on TikTok. Let's eat."
You know what the shitty thing is? It's like there aren't enough days for the amount of good restaurants that there are.
There are.
So I'll have
you want to try everything.
We'll go to one place like let's say you're gonna go to like Shibuya, right? And so or Harajuku. You go. I have usually I have the park, 3 or 4 stores, and then like a coffee shop. And then I have like 5 restaurants, smiley face on my Google Maps. And so I'll set it up like when we arrive, we eat at one. And then we'll do the park. And then we'll go to the coffee shop. And then we'll go shopping. And then we'll eat at another one. But there's too many. And like we're only here for a certain amount of days. So I want to make sure that we can try a little bit of everything. Like the conveyor belt was fun.
It was.
But guess what? Around the same area was an udon noodle place. And so are we really going to eat udon noodle right after having conveyor belt sushi? Like, no, it's impossible.
I literally couldn't. You did ask me yesterday, you wanted Japanese pizza. I was like, I can't.
I want to try McDonald's.
Like, I can't.
We went to McDonald's the first day just because I wanted to see how it was paying. Because I had heard someone say that you couldn't use visas and you can only use MasterCard, which is bullshit. You can use visas. It's no problem. Which I would honestly recommend you use more Apple Pay. Because you can literally tap everything. Some places only require the card, but I do want Japanese pizza. I want to see what it's like. And then another TikTok recommended Mexican food.
What?
Here in Japan.
Ooh.
Like tacos.
Okay.
Mexican, Japanese tacos.
All right. That's a mix. I like that. I like that.
It's really unique.
Something else that I have found very interesting and just different is so like one of the first days we went on the subway, there was like a man that was completely sleeping. But I was like, he looks a little odd because he's like still holding his phone. I was trying to check in to see if he's breathing. So it was a few stops, right? And I'm like, I wonder if this man is okay. And again, this is like maybe the 6th stop. Finally, he kind of twitches. I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. Well, you will see a lot of older, not even older. You'll just see a lot of men sleeping around.
There's a lot of cliches and stereotypes that Japan checks the box in. The girls dressed up in like maid outfits is real. I didn't know that.
Maid outfits?
Yeah, like maid schoolgirl outfits. Like,
well, yeah, they're going to school.
Yeah, no, like the ones in like Shibuya 109, like that.
Like more like, I get it.
Like
I get
a
it.
pop, K-pop,
yeah,
J-pop, maid schoolgirl outfit.
There's a lot of aesthetics here too.
Yeah, there's a lot of goth Japanese, like Birkenstocks that are really tall with like combat straps and like really crazy
There's
stuff.
There's a businessman in suits.
Lots of businessmen who like fall asleep in the train, which is like a cliche. Falling asleep in the park.
I do like those moments though when we catch like those cliches in real life, in the sense of remember at night, usually that's when all of the men are coming back home and they're kind of like drinking beer and like they're like saying bye and like
With their
bowing. It's like
coworkers,
very
they
cool
bow.
to see all of that.
Yeah, if you're like into, like Japanese video games or pop culture or any of that stuff that you see like in anime or stuff like that is real. Like I didn't believe a lot of it was real, but I'm like, oh, that's actually like a thing.
But something else, like it's interesting you mentioned that, but like I also thought that it was more common to see, like, yeah, there's a little bit of everything here, but I also feel like there's the exaggeration of like the Japanese girl who's like super kawaii and like this and that. Like I've actually noticed a lot more girls kind of having more of like that, I want to say like almost Korean like simplicity, where it's like just simple clothes, really cool like streetwear, and but like sophisticated as well. So it's not always like hair dyed.
Some people
and like
really assume like the idea of something. Like where did we go to get the Hello Kitty stickers yesterday? What's the name of that store?
Sanrio?
Yeah, like there were girls in there that were like
I didn't see.
super pink. They wore pink and stuff.
Oh, I guess I didn't really notice.
Like a particular type of person will hang out at a particular place. Like if you go to like Dover Street Market, head to toe luxury designer clothes, weird styles, like that's just the type of person that goes to that place, and like that is their ethos, and they really really assume that identity of what that is.
You want to talk about Japanese TV?
Awesome, overwhelming, overstimulating,
so
very cool
fun
though.
So, but what do you mean by that when you say that? Like you'll see there's always like a host, several hosts, and then they're like reacting on the side, and while you're also watching something simultaneously. I don't know if any of you ever watched Terrace House in Netflix, but that was the first time I ever was watching I was exposed to watching a show alongside hosts, and that's like a very fun experience because you're almost waiting afterwards to hear their thoughts, and it's cool. It almost feels like you're watching it with other people, so it's a very, very unique thing.
My exposure to Japanese TV, like it's not like I haven't seen, well, our hotel only has 6 channels, so based on that is what we're kind of giving our experience on. But definitely a lot of animations, the hosts are like a big part of it, and our camera is running out of battery.
Yeah, we should end it here.
Maybe we should cut it here.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining us on this very short podcast in Japan. We're so excited for more to come. We're going to be posting more on YouTube. If you haven't already followed on Instagram, we're posting a ton on there. And as always, we'll see you every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
Next Friday from Japan again. Goodbye.
Bye.